Hey there, guys. So I'm starting a series leading up to the holidays focusing more on spiritual matters. Because state of soul, as I have said, you really can't have any therapeutic healing without the divine, without a spiritual foundation. If you do have this sort of healing, it is temporary. It is transitory. It's simply not going to last. But with a spiritual dimension, you have the real hope of making this an everlasting fix to your life. And I was going to start with proof of God. I don't believe in God. I know that there is God. But because of very recent events, I'm not starting with that. There was another shooting in Jersey City, which is not too far from here. I could be there in a couple of hours. Without any traffic, probably get there in an hour and a half. And the first thing I read, the first thing I hear about it is it's not a terrorist attack. Is that supposed to make me feel good? That we're dividing, we're categorizing what sort of murders are happening, what sort of violence is happening, and, nonsense, bull feathers, poppycock. I don't care where the violence comes from. Is there violence? It's terrorism. Terrorism is not just wearing a bandana and speaking with an Arabic accent. Terrorism is harming another person, or even having the intent or the threat to harm. Terrorism. And terrorism is wrong always. Always. So some people say, well, a God couldn't exist in such a universe that has such terrorism and bad and evil. And let me be straightforward with you. Quit your whining, because you want God to be a puppet master. You want God to have all the control. That's not the kind of God I want anything to do with. It's just like the whole idea of trying to make somebody fall in love with you. Trying to force somebody upon you. Or force you upon someone else. There are words for that kind of thing that aren't kind words. And yet, there are so many people that say that they want this kind of God. Nonsense. And very often, these people want to force their will upon us, trying to tell us how life should be, and how we should think, and how we should behave. But I suppose that's a topic of video for another time. My thing is that God does not pull the strings. God does not control. God is here on moments like Christmas so that we can celebrate all the good. I met a guy just the other day, and I asked him about his neck brace, and he told me he was in an accident. And my very immediate reaction, without even thinking about it, was, oh my, thank God you survived. I'm so happy for you. Wow, that's fantastic, man. And I don't think he was used to getting that sort of reaction. I could read it in his face. It was almost like he tensed up for a fraction of a second, and then I praised his name. Praise God's name by inference, but praised his name because he survived. God is there to celebrate during the good times and during the bad times. And I am so sorry, but there are so many bad moments in this world because so many people have figured out, that they do have control. And they can control what happens to others, and they can harm others. But it is the love of God. It is the universal law of love, which God authored, which God created, which God has made the foundation of our universe. And by our universe, I mean how love works for us to build and sustain and celebrate and bring us ever forward. And not just individuals forward, but generations forward. We have made so much progress in this world, in the human soul, because of love. This is not by accident. This is by design. So something horrible happened. God still exists. And we have this awesome responsibility toward everyone. which means that we don't terrorize, we don't bully, we don't automatically denounce someone. We don't say, oh, we don't want to listen to that person because we don't agree with that person. Therefore, that person is bad, that person is evil, that person is deplorable, etc., etc., etc. And we ostracize people, and we attack people, and we assault people. We have legitimized this kind of behavior. We have legitimized the whole idea that we are free and clear to use verbal violence and use physical violence with fists and bottles and rocks and vandalism. We have legitimized that by saying this whole category of people over there, they're bad. So, like somebody on Facebook once wrote to me, well, they're Nazis, so Nazis get punched. We were talking about a speaker who was not a Nazi, but this was somebody that he disagreed with, so Nazis get punched. We just automatically, we just knee-jerk assign people to these horrible categories. And I'm telling you, the amount of horrible people I've met in this world, I could count. Maybe if I did this 2 or 3 times. And the amount of horrible people that I've read about in the world, in history, okay, so maybe we're talking more than 100. But what is it? How many people are in this world? 7 billion? Am I right about that? Bad people can influence other people and have throughout history. Good people can influence other people and have throughout history. So our awesome responsibility is to influence for the good. I can't tell you how many times that I have saved somebody, that somebody has told me that I've stopped them from jumping off a bridge or harming themselves or harming somebody else or making a bad decision or going to a depressive tailspin or getting drunk. And these are just the moments I know about. I have the potentiality of affecting thousands, tens of thousands of people through my words and actions. Maybe not in the moment. Maybe someone I talk to, it'll get through to them in 10 days, 10 years. Maybe they'll talk to somebody who talked to somebody who talked to somebody and say, hey, look at that. Listen to what this idiot said. The idiot referring to me. And they say, wait a minute, that makes sense. We have the awesome responsibility to spread love and grace and joy and strength and conviction and try to talk things out and to listen and to reason things out and see the innate dignity of everybody. Because those gunmen, if enough people had taken the time, maybe if only one person had taken the time to say, you know, that makes sense, man. I can understand your pain. Let's talk about it. Maybe that one person could have avoided that entire catastrophe. That is what God charges us to do. I'm done for now. Peace. 4 fingers. I'll see you soon.